Listen, it's a new year. What better way than to make it your year by taking control of your academics? So without any further ado, let's go. So first of all, if you want to become an A student, you have to dismantle the belief system that you have to be gifted in order to be academically capable. It's not the truth. What often happens with students who tend to get the high marks, etc., is that they have certain characteristics or attributes, or they just happen to have their priorities in line, and they build that from a young age, and it just develops like that. Now what we're going to work on is making sure that you have those attributes and those skills that they have quite clearly mastered by the time that they are in high school. To be an A student, you don't have to be a nerd, you don't have to be boring. Forget the stereotypes, which are actually very misleading and only lead to our misinformation. Anyone can become an A student, provided that they have their priorities in line and they actually put in the work to get where they want to be. I don't want to lie to you and say it's not difficult. The truth is, it's tiresome, it's tedious, it's frustrating, and you feel like giving up sometimes. Though I say that anybody can become an A student if that's what they really want, demographically not everyone is, right? And so what I will emphasize on right now is that if 60s are your best, do your best. Reach for the 60s. Let's try to get you out of the 50s, the 40s, even the 30s, and make sure that you're reaching your 60s. The same applies if 70s are your ultimate best, or 80s, or even 90s. What I will preach is definitely progress over perfection. So the very first tip that I have for you guys is to establish your goals from the onset. It's February right now. I would hope that you had done this in January, but if you didn't, it's perfectly fine. Establish your goals from the onset, your academic goals. Be very, very, very intentional about them. And by this, I mean writing down what you intend to achieve for each subject, whether it's per term, although I would encourage per term. That way you can evaluate your progress per term, and also have a goal for your aggregate, which is your overall average for all of the subjects combined. So have your goals listed and have them somewhere where you can see them. You can make them your screensaver. You can put them somewhere in your room. Really have them somewhere where you're gonna come in contact with them frequently, because it doesn't really help to just set your goals, write them down, and then put them aside until the next year when you realize you haven't achieved anything. After setting all of those goals, you have to become clear and frank with yourself with your why. Why do you want to achieve those goals? What are your reasons behind those goals? And usually our goals these kind of goals rather, they tie into a bigger goal. I'm pretty sure we're not just hoping to get these marks just because. Perhaps some of you want to achieve a certain mark in mathematics because you want to be admitted into medicine at a particular university, and these are the requirements, etc., etc. And honestly, let those reasons, your why, be the reason why be the reason why you take your those goals very, very seriously. You don't want to reach a point, especially if you are in high school, you don't want to reach a point whereby you have to settle for other careers or programs, courses, degrees, because you couldn't get admitted to the one that you actually wanted because you didn't get the marks that were necessary. So now that we've established our goals, we know our why, we're now gonna move into the steps that you're actively gonna employ and the mechanisms that you'll be employing to make sure that you get where you want to be and you get those marks that you look to achieve. The very first step here would be to learn your curriculum, and this is something that I've emphasized in my other academic oriented videos, which I do encourage that you watch. All of them have quite a golden thread. There are some things that I do reiterate and emphasize, because really, if I can't cut them out, I want the best for everybody who watches each video. So please watch those other videos. There's some different things that I say in all those videos, so do that. A few of you have gone ahead and asked me where you can find this curriculum planner thing that I continuously speak of, but you can find it the same place where you download your past papers. It's usually at the start or at the back. Some papers work like that, but if you are unable to find it, then you can speak to your teachers. They definitely have one, and it's not against the law. It's not cheating if they give it to you. It's just preparation. you know. But other than that, if you are unable to get it, also looking into your textbook works perfectly fine. So that would be looking into the chapters that you and the topics that you'll be discussing in class and what you'll be taught, and working ahead. Like this curriculum planner situation, it basically just helps you to gauge what the year is looking like for you, and it just really helps you to work ahead and just feel prepared and know what's to come. Having recently spoken about past papers, now is the perfect time to download your past papers. It's still February, it's still the beginning of the year. Download all the past papers that you're gonna need now and start working on a few of them, even though exams are still like a bit far away. Download those papers and work on a few of them, and before you properly even study, just to see how much you can do just based off of what you've already learned. And then do go ahead and do your studies. But past papers will save your life. Get the past papers from early on, when most people are not even thinking about past papers. They'll probably only start downloading past papers around May, just before exams, and you would have been preparing yourself with those higher level order questions before the time has come. Doing this will only instill a bit more confidence within yourself, and it makes you more comfortable with the exams and how they ask them, and it should really help you to feel less challenged by exams that are sent from. This is perhaps more of a university tip. This is what university students do, but prepare for your classes before you even attend them. So it's a bit more difficult in high school because they don't exactly tell you what you'll be working on the next day. But I mean, you guys in high school, you spend quite a bit of time on a certain topic, and you can kind of estimate when you'll move on to the next one. So do work ahead so that when you do, when the teacher does teach the new topic, you kind of have a few questions set, and then hand in hand with preparing for your classes goes taking notes within your classes. Without a doubt, the most boring of tips, you're definitely gonna have to study. You're gonna have to study hard. You're gonna have to study more than you usually would, because now you clearly want higher marks. You are gonna have to study very extensively, but also study quite smart. Don't just read. Study smart, and this is inclusive of employing certain study methods for certain subjects. You cannot apply the same study method across board. You cannot study for languages the same way you study for mathematics or dramatic arts, for example. And that is going to be a video which I'll be releasing quite soon, study methods. A lot of you asked for that video, so definitely subscribe and be on the lookout for that video, along with the video on study tips. And then a couple of you also asked for setting like a calendar timetable situation. Those are gonna be released. It's an academic takeover, remember. When it comes to writing study notes, write your study notes as you go. I hope that makes sense. Don't wait for exams to come to write your study notes. My point, before exams even, you should be done with your study notes. Write your study notes as you go, file them, store them on a hard drive if that's your thing, but a file works perfectly fine. But write your study notes as you go. Writing study notes takes much longer than actually studying, so hence by the time I'm trying, why I'm saying this is so that by the time exams come or the big tests show up, you dedicate all that time to pure studying instead of rewriting. So write your study notes as you go, not before assessments. So once you and your class are done with a particular topic, just quickly write your study notes there like a diligent student. It might feel boring, but hey, you will really thank yourself. And sometimes that might mean you're gonna write study notes on less important topics. Frankly, at this point in time, you'll never know which is which. You have nothing to lose. Our very last tip of the day, try to set up a reward system with your parents or with your family. So something like, hey mom, hey dad, so if I get 60%, 65, 70, 80, 90, can I get whatever you want? You get me? So So can I get 2 pairs of sneakers or something? It's quite encouraging. It's worked for me in the past. Or you can have it set up on a distinction basis. So perhaps for every distinction that you get, there's a certain sum of money that you get. So it can be 200 rand per distinction, maybe 5. 200 is quite small, but hey, with parents, you'll take what you can you take what you can get. But try to set up a reward system of things that you really want to have. I don't know what you guys want to have, but whatever it is that you want to have, if I get this percentage, can I get a MacBook? Can I get the latest iPhone? I don't know. So with this studying hard and studying intensively thing that I'm on, you really have to train your mind, you really have to train your brain rather, to absorb large sums of information, and not just memorizing it, but being able to understand it thoroughly and relate the subject to somebody else in a clear, concise manner, without necessarily using the same words that were used by the textbook. Now, all of this I will explain in my next study methods video, but this is something that you have to get yourself used to, because it's only getting the amount of information that you will be expected to know rather, and be able to translate. It only gets worse. It only increases with each year, more especially in university. So that's something that you have to train yourself to do and get used to. Alright, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope that this video did give you a few tips that you can employ in your own studies. I look forward to hearing from you all. I love hearing from you. Please do comment in the comment section what video you're looking forward to, or what other video you'd like me to put out. I definitely pay attention to the comments and I respond to your comments. I wish you well with your studies, best wishes, and yeah, good luck. Peace.